Hello. Hello, Papi, my man. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Very good, Elijah. Thank you so much for having me. I say namaste to you and your most wonderful, wonderful audience. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you and all of your wonderful listeners. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love that. I love that statement. That's a beautiful one. And thank you so, so very much for being here, my man. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Papi, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Papi, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Papi, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Papi, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Papi. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so, so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing puppy that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, how you're offering your solutions. These stuffs are amazing. And just before I sent you that request, Papi, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Papi is doing, not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Papi. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much, Papi.
I'm I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much. Very
Thank you
grateful.
too.
Very grateful.
Yeah, love it, love it. So a quick one. I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Papi, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, Papi, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Papi on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Papi, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Papi, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Papi got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Papi, over to you.
Yes. Yes, Elijah. Thank you so much. Yes. I'll give you the shortened version, and I would just appeal to the audience that every listener today is an eternal, ethereal, spiritual being. You are endless. So if any of our listeners want some great news for today, you are endless. You're an eternal, ethereal, endless spiritual being having a limited physical experience. And each of the listeners today, Elijah, has inside of them a perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA, and a perfect spiritual spark. And this spiritual spark inside of you, this perfection, and the fact that we're given free will, allows you to manifest. And manifest is just a fancy word for create. It allows you to create anything you can imagine. The creator of this universe would never say, I'm going to place you here on planet Earth, and once you get $10,000 saved up, give me a call. or once you own a house, or once you own a car, I'll start to help you with, if you were standing in a field of mango trees without another human being around for hundreds of miles, and you did not have a stitch of clothing on, you were standing in that mango field without a human being around for hundreds of miles, without a stitch of clothing on, you said, how can I possibly succeed here on planet Earth, wherever I'm at, in whatever continent, South America, Africa, Asia, a lot of the plated areas on Earth? The Creator would say to you, I've given you everything that you need. I've given you everything you need. That each of our fellow brothers and sisters has the power within them to be able to manifest anything you can imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. My fellow brothers and sisters, you can only have one thought in your mind at a time. You and only you can control this thought. You came here to love yourself, love your fellow brothers and sisters, and do no harm. And in conjunction with that, you came here to learn how to harness and direct and control energy. One of the most smartest people that ever lived was Nikola Tesla, Tesla. He was as smart as Albert Einstein. Someone asked him, Mr. Tesla, I think you're the smartest person on earth. What do I know? What do I need to know to be successful here on earth, to be successful about how this place works? How's the universe work? What do I need to know to be successful? Mr. Tesla said, if you want to be successful on earth, you need to understand three things: energy, vibration, and frequencies. My fellow brothers and sisters, when you have a thought, it's just not a thought. When you have a thought, you have harnessed and gathered and directed energy. When you have a thought, a firework goes off up in the fifth dimension or above, and a small faint outline of what you thought about, you harnessed and directed this energy, focused on your thought, a faint outline. It's a bicycle, it's a motor scooter, it's a roof over your head, a wonderful meal, a love of your life, whatever it is. Now, when you think that same thought, instead of one firework going off up in the fifth dimension or above, the secret sauce is emotion. When you apply your emotion to your thought, dozens and dozens of fireworks go off. And when that dust settles, the outline of what you're thinking about is much more well developed. So I just mentioned to my fellow brothers and sisters that for every of our 8 billion plus brothers and sisters on earth, for every 5 thoughts they have, 4 of them are negative. So you are a manifesting machine. You create with your mind, not with the sweat of your brow and the ache of your back. We're in a 5D world. We're transitioning to 5D, not this 3D, working with your body. And be very careful. You possess access to all knowledge and all power of all time. When Yeshua, Jesus said, the power and the entire kingdom is within you. The entire kingdom of the Creator is within you. This is what he was talking about, Elijah, that every one of our brothers and sisters today has this power within them.
Amazing, Papi. You just impacted me. And the words you said that really stood out is, if you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's profound. And I love that. I tell you, it's beautiful to come across folks who think like this. And thank you for the wonderful stuff you're doing. So let's get started. You see, I'm curious about this part. What inspired you to become a mindset and manifestation coach?
Yeah, Elijah, what inspired me was when I was 6 or 7 years of age, my Italian grandparents came over from the slums of Naples, Italy, and my Polish grandparents came over from the ghettos outside of Warsaw, Poland, to work. Home base for me, where I was born and raised, is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here in the United States. And that was the steel manufacturing capital of the world for decades and decades. They came here, worked in the steel mills for over 40 years. My dad worked for over 25 years. When I was talking to my grandmother, she was maybe, Elijah, 5 feet tall with her shoes on, had 13 children. And I was talking about growing up. She said she had to drop out of school in 3rd grade to help the family make money. And long story short, she was swinging a sledgehammer in the stone quarries outside of Naples, Italy, trying to make big rocks and little rocks. She said she thought she was going to die. And that look in her eye when she told me this story, Elijah, when I was 6 or 7 years of age, I heard a similar story from my Polish grandma and from my mother, from what she went through, and that look of despair and hopelessness that they had. I said to myself, Elijah, that's my why. I said, I never want to see this look in anyone that I love. I never want to see this look in the eyes of anyone I love. I never want to see this look in anyone that I know, any of my fellow brothers and sisters. I never want to see that look in the eyes of another fellow human being ever for the rest of my life. And I've grown into my calling to be able to shine universal light in our fellow brothers and sisters and awaken them to the fact my grandparents and parents lived on this earth. If you took each of their lives and added them up, it'd be for hundreds of years they were here. And you and I have already talked more about this wonderful secret that they have heard in all of their lifetimes, that our brothers and sisters have this power within them. No one ever told my grandparents or my parents this secret. So that's what I'm here for, to share and coach our fellow brothers and sisters for the rest of my life, to shine universal light on this special power within them and teach them how to do it.
And you're doing just fine. Oh boy, that's a beautiful one. Thank you for sharing that story. So while you were talking earlier, you said the word manifestation is just a fancy word for create. Can you talk more about that?
Yes. Yeah. So manifesting through the law of attraction. I have an affirmation, one of the ones I do in the morning, Elijah. I am so happy and grateful now. Now, Elijah, I come from a perspective, just so you know, of 100% spirituality. I stay neutral as to religion, government, politics, what things people want to fight about. I stay neutral as to everything because I'm talking to people in Africa, South America, Central America, Asia, Europe zone, etc. There's a lot of different belief systems across planet Earth. So I don't talk to religion about anyone. Everyone knows what their belief is. So I come from a perspective of 100% spirituality. And what I can share with the audience is that this universe runs like the most organized, I say, Swiss watch that we could ever imagine. I say, I'm so happy and grateful now that the creator, whatever your listeners believe the creator to be, that the creator created this perfect and infinite universe of universes, all operating under its perfect and infinite universal laws. And you and I, Elijah, and our 8 billion plus brothers and sisters, we're in the game of life. These universal laws are the rules of the game. The universal law of love at the very top. The universal law of love is the only law that fulfills all other laws. Universal law of balance, universal law of change. We come here to further express, expand, increase, and grow. One of the laws I say, thank goodness for, Elijah, is the universal law of increase. This universe has been increasing for 13.5 billion years, growing and growing and growing. So we come here to further express, expand, increase, and grow. And change. Change is, I would just suggest to your audience that a lot of times, Elijah, they say, I've got a problem, I've got a challenge, and they'll use some swear words. I got this thing to deal with. And I would just say, my brothers and sisters, the next problem or challenge that you have when you're faced with that, I want you to say, that's good. Say that that's good, because this universe, I have been guaranteed, Elijah, that every problem and challenge holds the answer and solution to that problem or challenge within it. If we can just focus on the solution, what happens, Elijah, is we're here to further change and increase and express and expand and grow and increase. And a lot of our brothers and sisters aren't. So the universe gives us a little nudge. They want us to be the best version of ourselves. We get a little nudge from universal intelligence to move forward. So these are nudges. And when we go in, we'll find a gold nugget in that problem or challenge. And sometimes we even find a diamond in there. I say that's a quantum leap forward. So wherever our listeners are, Elijah, I just remind our listeners that we chose to come into whatever situation we came into. Now, if you would think maybe in human terms, you're in a situation that's more challenging than maybe you would like, I'm here to tell you that you're a lot better, you're a lot tougher, you're a lot more gifted than you could ever imagine, because you knew this and you came here and says, I can overcome this. I am going to succeed in spite of whatever situation I'm given here. So our brothers and sisters who maybe seems like they're in a tougher situation, they're maybe, the universe says warrior spirits. You're a warrior spirit. You chose a tougher situation to succeed in that. So these universal laws, universal law of vibration, law of attraction, law of assumption, law of coherence, as correspondence, as above, so below, universal law of cause and effect. This entire universe is the most yet complex, yet fair system you could ever imagine. When our brothers and sisters understand these universal laws, law of belief, law of faith, law of gratitude is the easiest one we can start with, Elijah, because when we give gratitude, genuine, authentic, pure, honest, genuine gratitude, that is at the same vibration as abundance. The universe set that up for a reason. You give genuine, authentic gratitude, you're vibrating. So Buddha said, you will become what you think, you will attract what you feel, and you will create what you imagine. So my fellow brothers and sisters, what you're thinking in your mind, I can guarantee you whatever you really, 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 really want, because you're thinking about applying a lot of emotions, you are going to get that. But also whatever you really, 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 really don't want, you're going to attract that into your life as well, because you're thinking about it and you're applying emotion to it. It will be attracted into your life. So the law of attraction is just a fancy word for the fact that you are a magnet. All of our brothers and sisters listening today, you are a magnet, and like attracts like. That's what Buddha said. You will attract what you feel. You will attract what you feel. So be very careful. Our average brothers and sisters, Elijah, are having up to 60,000 thoughts per day. 80% are negative and 90% are recurring. And they don't understand that they have this creative power within them. And it all starts with our thoughts, not with the sweat of our brow and the ache of our back. We live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe.
Hmm. Profound words, and I got that. I got that. Thank you for taking your time to explain that. And now I see why you're so good at what you do. Oh boy. Okay, so we have two more to go. So you wrote a book, all right? Manifest
Yes.
anything you can imagine. Can you talk to us about it?
Yes, it's the culmination. I wrote a number of business books. I've made #1 in the U.S. and international Barnes and Nobles, and #5 Wall Street Journal, USA Today bestseller list. But the genesis of all it is, Elijah, is on the table of humanity that I'm a part of. So there's a torch that's been handed down from Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the top 5 entrepreneurs probably in the history of the United States. He knew this information. He shared it with Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. So this book called Think and Grow Rich has sold over 100 million copies and been read by over 300 million of our fellow brothers and sisters. It's credited with creating more millionaires than any other book on earth, not just millionaires. Whenever I talk, well, my brothers and sisters come to me and say, Pappy, can you help me to manifest? I want to fix my life. I want to improve my life. And I'll say, what would you like to talk about? The top 3 topics, Elijah, are health, wealth, and love. Those are the top 3. Then we have happiness, relationships, spirituality. So this isn't just money or anything. This is health. Health is in physical health, mental wellness, health, wealth, love, relationships, happiness, and spirituality. So the torch was handed off from Andrew Carnegie to Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book, to Earl Nightingale, to Bob Proctor. And then the torch has been handed to me. Now, Elijah, I hope there's dozens or hundreds of other brothers and sisters of ours who would like to carry this torch as well and shine universal light in our brothers and sisters. But that was the genesis for me writing Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. This is my book, and this is the word. I'm the living word and living presence of sharing this positive energy, positive vibration with our brothers and sisters, and sort of like flipping a light switch on to raise their level of consciousness, Elijah, is what my goal is. So manifest anything for the next 100 years. I make my book available for free. So one of my coaching tips, Elijah, I say, read my book, read it every day. So I would never say, like, you have to buy my book. So listeners can go to Papi Mindset Coach, PAPI mindsetcoach.com. And there's a green button on there for free ebooks. So they can get the free electronic book. They can also get free 7 days of my coaching course, which I lay out the universal laws the first 7 days. Because what happens, Elijah, anytime anybody hears me, not 100%, but 10, 20, 30%, whatever the number is, will be turned on by it to say, hey, I want to research this more, like what Pappy's talking about. It's speaking to me. So I have a 28-day course, but I give the first 7 days for free. So you can go to my website again, PappyMindsetCoach.com, and you go up to the top, it says free challenge. They just put their first and last name and their email address, and I'll send this out to them. So this potentially, Elijah, can help to start them on their journey. Every one of our fellow brothers and sisters on earth they are very, very, very special. Every listener today, every one of our brothers and sisters on every continent on earth is very, very, very special. And you have a gift inside of you, unlike anyone else, a gift to give to this earth that you came here for, that we need you for so desperately, to access this unlimited power within you, to be able to lift your level of consciousness and all of our levels of consciousness together. We're all in this together. We're all fellow brothers and sisters. My spiritual DNA, Elijah, is the same as yours, the same as every brother and sister across this planet Earth. The spiritual spark inside of us, the spiritual DNA is exactly the same. There is to be, the universe says, Elisha, there is to be no fear. There's to be no worry, no doubt, no anxiety. There's to be no wars. There's to be no anger. There's to be no violence. These are highly unusual, not normal. We've sort of like a boiled frog got used to these things over time, but we're here now to turn this thing around and eliminate this anger, eliminate this fighting, eliminate all this conflict. No fear, eliminate all this from you, my brothers and sisters. You have this wonderful talent inside of you.
Beautiful, my man. And I'm going to take that as a final thought. So, for folks who would like to reach out to you, Papi, or make inquiries, or understand the beautiful stuff you're doing better, or even ask you questions, how can that be possible?
Yes, please. Yes, everything flows through Papi, and that's PAPI, mindset, MINDSET, coach, COACH, PapiMindsetCoach.com. They can learn about me. I'm doing work again in Africa, South America, Central America, Asia, India, across the globe. And I do everything, Elijah, with buy one, give one. A lot of times it's buy one, give 100. So I'm giving free books and free courses and study guides and classes and presentations all across the globe. So our fellow brothers and sisters in need, go to my website, PapiMindsetCoach.com, get the free book, get the free 7-day course, and you can reach out. If you have an organization that you think I could come in and help and inspire them, I would be considered a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. I love to be able to help our brothers and sisters in need in any way that I can. And I appreciate, I say the vibrations doesn't matter. You're sort of halfway around the world for me, Elijah, but it's just like holding up a cell phone. You're holding it up as high as you can up over your head,
Mm,
and you're just holding it there and seeing who's going to answer the call on the other side. And like you said, that's exactly how you and I met, by being on the same vibration, the same frequency. So I'm just so grateful that you decided and extended a generous offer for me to come on your show today.
beautiful, my man. And thank you so very much for impacting me. I tell you, you've just blessed me. So that's going to be the end
Thank
of the
you.
show, my man. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us, man. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.